I know the surface, Eleanor. I spent half a lifetime there, in service of the common good. But then, I heard my own words twisted by fat old men squatting over the embers of Hiroshima. Were the modern world a patient in my care, I would diagnose it suicidal. On perhaps that point alone, Andrew Ryan is correct. Rapture is deliverance.
Nearly 5 years after the first inhabitants of Rapture arrived, mental fatigue began to set in on those so far beneath the ocean. To remedy this, Andrew Ryan allowed a psychiatrist by the name of Dr. Sofia Lamb into Rapture to address the growing effects of isolation.
I'm told that the people grow tense and isolated in the absence of the sun. Now they clamor for a psychiatrist. Do they miss the state censor, I wonder? Wartime seizure of private assets? Or the checkup police vanishing them in the night? Regardless, this Lamb woman is said to be the foremost practitioner in her field. Fine. If she can quiet the rattling of the great chain's weakest links, I will leave her to it.
Born somewhere in the United Kingdom, she was ingrained at an early age by her father the ideas of the greater good.
My father was a physician. He raised me not to echo him, but to model the world as it ought to be. I was to teach a simple moral calculus. Each choice as though the world must bear it. Each life or death for the common good. He called it the triage imperative, and would laugh without smiling.
She'd adopt that philosophy as her own, and eventually earn a PhD in psychiatry at the University of Oxford. For the rest of her life, she yearned for a utopia, just like Andrew Ryan. But, unlike him, she believed a true utopia could only be founded on altruistic ideals.
Rapture. The keenest minds in the world, united under the ocean, yet somehow expected to subscribe to the same model of self-interest. Ryan could be staggeringly naive. As individuals, no matter how brilliant, each was a prisoner to his or her own ego, a sea of dreams in constant flux. But in Adam, their genes remain, ready to be tested against a moral vessel. Utopia cannot precede the utopian. It will exist the moment we are fit to occupy it.
While Ryan sought a utopia free of external constraints, Lamb recognized that utopia could only be achieved first by freeing ourselves from internal prisons. Something that seemed near impossible to do. That is until Rapture showed her the key to unlocking the cell doors that have kept us trapped for so long. Adam.
Until Adam, the human animal was a slave to the gene, the inner tyrant. Lust, greed, rage, self-obsession was etched into our DNA. We were not pulling the great chain of progress, as Ryan believed, but shackled to it. But now, in theory, we can redraft the human blueprint. Serving the common interest can become as natural as breathing. The tyrant will simply go extinct.
She set to work immediately, enlightening the citizens of Rapture with her altruistic ideas. Every week, Lamb traveled to Popper's Drop and offered free therapy sessions for the downtrodden living there. Popper's Drop used to be a maintenance junction of the Atlantic Express Railroad, until unemployed workers built up hastily made shelters that it became a shantytown.
Old Popper's Drop's the worst neighborhood in Rapture, but it's a hell of an opportunity to raise up some affordable housing. When Atlantic Express was constructing their luxury passenger line, this place was hollowed out beneath as flop houses for the railway crew. Nobody was supposed to reside down here long term, but when you're broke in this town, you're not exactly swimming in alternatives. I don't favor spending more than an hour or so down here at a time. There ain't a side of the tracks more wrong than under 'em.
The people of Popper's Drop had been forgotten by the great chain, and they did all they could just to survive day to day. But then Dr. Sofia Lamb's therapy sessions gave them something they thought they had lost: self-respect, purpose, and hope.
Third session today with this amazing limey shrink, Dr. Sofia Lamb. She said that all Ryan's horse shit about always looking out for number one is turning us little guys against each other. And what we need is unity, solidarity. Then, she held up a mirror. Turns out, I wear my hair and mustache just like Ryan. So today, I'm spreading the word about Lamb. And tonight, I'm shaving my whole stupid head.
And, according to her, she found other ways to endear herself to the down and out, while uplifting the spirits of the most destitute.
You must learn to play poker, Eleanor. Like anyone, I am flawed and have a fierce genetic bias towards competition. But each Saturday, I read the other players, and I pick a man who will benefit the most from victory. By the final hand, I ensure that he takes home my entire stake and that of the others. I win nothing but the feeling of conquest over myself, and the wealth of my competitors is slowly reshuffled according to their needs.
Soon, Lamb cultivated a following of her ideas. She'd encourage patients to wear a butterfly pin as an expression of their support. As more and more people wore the butterfly, a symbol of metamorphosis, it quickly became the most ubiquitous insignia of the Rapture family, as Lamb's supporters came to be called.
The blue morpho bounces off the glass as I watch. I fold these paper effigies as secret badges for the faithful. The morpho caterpillar doesn't spin a cocoon. It just grows armor on the inside before the change. It is us. To wear a butterfly is to support Dr. Lamb and the family. Before long, Rapture will split wide and take wing. Imago is coming.
I was on my way to a new badge. High and mighty Lieutenant Asshole in Ryan's private forces. But Dr. Lamb showed me that I got a duty to the common man, not Ryan. I feel like praying, and I ain't said 2 words to God since I was in short pants. And I'm not alone anymore. There's lots of us wearing her butterfly pins now. So what if it looks a little bit, twinkle toes?
Lamb even attracted some of the most stalwart of followers, like Simon Wales. He was half of the architectural duo of Wales and Wales who helped design Rapture. However, when structural issues began to emerge, Simon experienced an intense crisis of confidence, propelling him into the arms of the family.
Brothers and sisters, the temptation to languish in self-pity is great. Who can deny it? Beleaguered as we are by the sins of our past. But self-pity is no more than a tricky shade of pride, freezing us up when we should act. The Lamb's path leads us beyond the reach of the self, obliterating the ego. But we must work for it. We must not lie caged in our bones, groveling at the ego's altar.
Now dubbed Father Simon Wales, he began preaching to those who would listen against the ideals that once led him to design the very city he now inhabited.
Hearken unto me, my children. I must tell you of the Demiurge, the proud and blind architect of all creation. The Demiurge was the dream of the one true God, cleaved apart from him as he slept. It held a part of the Lord's energy and took the shape of a worm with the head of a lion. Ignorant of the one true God, and believing itself to be the sole craftsman of the firmament, the Demiurge breathed life into the earth. And so it wrought the crude and base design men call natural selection. Life was cast in woven clay. One ineffable spark of the sublime Creator, thrust by the worm into imperfect flesh, and ascending only over eons of ignorance, pain, and sin. Too late did the one God wake, and saw what the Demiurge had done. The Lord then cast the worm into the sea, where it lay for thousands of years. Now let us speak of today, my children. The demiurge tempted Andrew Ryan, and I was his disciple, a blind architect myself. Arrogant of my gifts, I raised this shrine to the pride of man, Rapture.
Meanwhile, Lamb's growing family eventually caught the eye of Andrew Ryan. His perspective on her changed. No longer was she a simple, innocuous remedy to the populace's deepening cabin fever, but now a corrupting force threatening the very existence of Rapture. He regretted caving in to the people's demands and inviting her to Rapture. Therefore, hoping to weaken her influence, he agreed to a series of public debates on a wide range of issues.
Religious rites, Doctor? You're free to kneel before whatever tribal fetish you favor in the comfort of your own home. But in Rapture, liberty is our only law. A man's only duty is to himself. To imply otherwise, therefore, is criminal.
Ask yourself, Andrew, what is your great chain of progress but of faith? The chain is a symbol for an irrational force guiding us towards ascension. No less mystic than the crucifixes you seize and burn.
White is not black, Dr. Lamb. Down is not up, and straw is not gold. Look around you. Rapture is no miracle. It is a product of reason. Impossible unless 1 and 1 are 2, and A equates to A.
And yet, alone, each man is a prisoner to bias, dream, delusion, or the pain of a phantom limb. To one man, they are as real as rain. Reality is consensus, and the people are losing faith. Take a walk, Andrew. It is raining in Rapture, and you have simply chosen not to notice.
The debates did not work out in Ryan's favor, and, in fact, the Rapture family only continued to grow as the years passed. Sofia Lamb released a philosophical book titled Unity and Metamorphosis, which became a sacred text that Father Simon Wales used as the basis of his sermons. Then came news of Sofia Lamb's pregnancy.
To my daughter, Eleanor, soon you will be born, and Rapture will be your home. You shall be raised as I was, to advance the common good through social psychiatry. This city's potential is immeasurable, Eleanor, yet our beliefs are unwelcome here. Life will be difficult, but the price of revolution is always dear. If we are patient with her, Rapture will come to us.
Who the father was unimportant. Eleanor was to be the saving grace of Rapture. That's all that really mattered, at least for Sofia Lamb.
Rapture is a paradise of the ego, Eleanor. Under Ryan, the voices of an entire city sing the virtues of greed and pride. But truth, rather, is in the body. Already they grow weary of struggling against one another in fruitless competition. Observe the bent backs, the drawn faces. Ryan promised us more, they seem to say. In what shall we now believe? And Eleanor, it is our task to answer.
A cloud of mystery still hangs over Lamb's pregnancy and Eleanor's birth. All that can be known is that a baby girl came into this world deep under the ocean, in a city thought impossible.
Eleanor is progressing brilliantly. My physical participation in her birth was minimized, of course. It is vital that I am unhindered by nature's crude bias. I will be, above all, her intellectual progenitor, loyal not to her, but to the people she will ultimately save. But I admit, it is with some measure of pride that I review her marks in standard intelligence tests. As an agent of our beliefs, she may surpass even me.
Believing Eleanor to be a vital vessel to achieving her goals, Lamb kept her daughter away from other children and tutored her in private so as to nurture a genius-level intellect. Father Simon Wales, for his part, preached Eleanor's delivery with the same reverence as those who sermonize the virgin birth of Jesus Christ.
We believe in the daughter of the Lamb, hallowed Savior and anointed vessel, whose blood with our blood, sin with our sin, mind with our minds, life with our life, lifts us up from the depths, transcends base temptation, and delivers us all from ego. We commend ourselves to the new and unknown, born by our common strength and guided by the Lamb.
Around this time, a new patient joined Dr. Sofia Lamb's therapy session. Her name was Grace Holloway. On the surface, she had lived in a Hooverville during the Great Depression. But down in Rapture, she made good money with her singing career. That was until she began singing about the deplorable conditions of the working class, while the rich lived lavishly off the laborers' hard work. Andrew Ryan did not take kindly to this and blacklisted her. Forced into poverty for the second time in her life, Holloway settled in Pauper's Drop and sang at the Limbo Room. That's when she turned to Sofia Lamb for help.
Dr. Lamb, Sophia, I came down here to sing and to start a family, but I just don't fit with these people. Look at you. You fit with them.
Grace, in Ryan's Rapture, I am the pariah. You and I share unpopular ideas, but I wonder, how devoted are you to the Rapture people? If you wish to know more, wear this butterfly brooch at our next session. If not, no harm done. We shall never speak of it again.
She resisted wearing the butterfly brooch for a time, especially since her life appeared to be improving. Because soon after taking residence in Pauper's Drop, she found James. They fell madly in love, and she knew nothing but happiness during her days with him. But like all things in Rapture, that happiness wasn't destined to last. James was a social activist, unafraid to speak out against Andrew Ryan. This led to his eventual disappearance.
He's gone. James was the only man I ever loved, and now it's like he never even came to Rapture. He heard me sing at the Limbo Room, came up all bashful. He liked hearing songs about what it's really like to live in this town. I think he's been trying to organize folks against Ryan. And now he's gone. And I'm here, singing Rise, Rapture, Rise. Scared to death they're gonna come for me.
Though Holloway presented an air of patriotism in public, in the privacy of her own home, she was deeply upset and angry. So the next time she saw Dr. Lamb, she wore the brooch.
All right, Doctor. I'm here. But don't think wearing this butterfly means I'm happy.
Grace, I know you all too well. Want of child defines you. But biological loyalty turns us against the rest of the world, whom we ought to love in equal measure. Your poverty is testament to that, but your voice inspires the people. I am asking you to join a much larger family. Though your body failed you, you shall live on in us.
Change had to come to Rapture. And the longer Grace Holloway spent with Dr. Lamb, the more she was convinced who would bring about that change.
My folks lived in the St. Louis Hooverville in 32, and the Drop is worse by a mile. Nobody's supposed to live down here, city pissing on us. Never try. Ryan doesn't care, and Fontaine's a damn crook. But Dr. Lamb cares. We're still people to her. She's offering free mental counseling on Sundays. When I go, I get the feeling she's got a plan for Rapture. And for me.
Soon, the conflict of ideologies between Ryan and Lamb would come to a head. After the debates, Lamb publicly challenged Ryan with the opening of Dionysus Park. She wanted the park to be a living experience of her collectivist ideas. while also testing the limits of Ryan's philosophy that artists should no longer fear the censor. Therefore, Dionysus Park proudly displayed art that criticized or went against Ryan's ideals. To add insult to injury, Lamb also opened the park free of charge, in contrast to Ryan's Arcadia, which charged visitors.
Dionysus Park. Lamb mocks me in the naming of this place. She knows precisely how I feel about this celebration of unconscious art. The artist reflects the world as it ought to be, not as it is damned to be by some spasm of the lower mind. I shall not censor. The park is Lamb's property. However, if the case we are building against her proves true, I will return with a sledgehammer.
Ryan became obsessed with Lamb and considered her the biggest threat against Rapture, bigger than that of Frank Fontaine's growing plasmid empire. She needed to be removed once and for all, and he knew exactly who to call to get the job done.
Lamb is becoming a problem. The woman is a damned collectivist. Here in Rapture, how could the council fail to see it? Worse, to hide her intent, she gulls these patients of hers into a religious frenzy. A new Kremlin will rise and swallow the council house before they realize they've been had. I will not have my city swindled by the parasite, whatever its guise. It is time, I think, to call Sinclair.
Augustus Sinclair shared Andrew Ryan's worldview, but stopped short of embracing the Great Chain. Events in his younger days had cast the veil aside, revealing the true nature of the world. One he took to heart.
I hear often, Mr. Sinclair, you just got a heart of stone. Don't you want to share with your fellow man? And I tell him, listen, I hail from sunny Panama, and my granddaddy, he got himself drowned building the big ditch. Went on and on about doing it for the people, for the world entire. Well, not for me, thank you. I came to Georgia to strike it rich, and Rapture all the more so. You won't catch me blowing my last bubble for any other personage, plural or singular.
When Andrew Ryan tapped Sinclair to join him, Sinclair eagerly accepted the invitation. Here, he would take his self-interested business savvy to the next level.
Andrew Ryan. He reckoned the free market was some kind of Holy Spirit gonna lead us all over the rainbow. And I reckon it's a big fat hooker too dim to spot a wooden nickel. So old Andy went and became his own ghost, and I whittled nickels till I made a mint.
He established Sinclair Solutions, a firm dedicated to resolving business problems through methods not exactly on the level. Andrew Ryan didn't necessarily approve of Sinclair's services, but when push came to shove, Ryan was more than willing to pay the price. He called up Sinclair and negotiated a deal. Sinclair will build a detention facility, and Ryan will supply the detainees. In no time, Persephone was built, a prison located in an enormous cavern carved out of the bedrock.
Persephone, secret home of Sinclair Solutions. I bet against Andy Ryan's vision of harmony and rapture, offered him a quiet place to send anybody who wasn't working out, and now I'm sitting on my own private think tank. Technically, Utopia shouldn't have much use for a detention facility, but if you do business as long as I have, well, you learn to pick a brand name from the writing on the wall.
With Persephone finished, the next step was figuring out how to get Lamb there.
Sinclair, I don't care how you accomplish Lamb's removal from the public eye. Indeed, I'd rather cease contact with you altogether. But allow me to make this plain. I don't want to see Lamb on the streets again, peddling her Bolshevik fever dreams to my people. Bury her memory, Sinclair. Bury it, and salt the earth.
To accomplish this, Sinclair first needed dirt on Lamb and her family. So he turned to a trusted journalist who worked for the Rapture Tribune, Stanley Poole. He had made a name for himself covering a deep-sea diver who accidentally discovered the underwater city. For a time, the citizens celebrated his heroics and nicknamed him Johnny Topside. Then, he disappeared from public consciousness entirely.
I met with Sinclair today of Sinclair Solutions. It's this pseudo-legal firm he set up to take problems Ryan doesn't want to admit he has and make them go away. I could fill 40 front pages of the Tribune with stories about this fella if he wasn't paying me not to. And he's got work for me, right? I ask what, and he flashes me these $1,000 Steinman teeth saying this job will, quote, change history. I wish I could publish this stuff. It's newsman pay dirt. Sinclair says Ryan's making a move against Sofia Lamb, and they want to cut me in on the action. They're building a case that Lamb's a closet pinko, sort of an undercover thing. So I cozy up to this guy Wales, who works for Lamb, making like I want to join up. Then I find out whether he grew his beard for Jesus or Karl Marx.
Poole accepted the job and set to work infiltrating the family.
Well, I'm in. Yep, yours truly is the newest member of the Rapture family. I fed Wales a line about how the Tribune was stopping me from telling the people what's what, and without a word, he hands me an invite to this artist retreat here at the park. Lamb bought my Frustrated Novelist Act. She's even sponsoring me to ink it while I'm here, except my story's all about her. And I don't think she's gonna like the way it ends.
Finding evidence of Lamb's Marxist plans proved difficult to obtain, and the longer it took him to dig anything up, the harder Ryan's men came down on him. Before he knew it, playing the dual roles of mole and informant had badly frayed Poole's nerves.
So, Ryan's goons are sweating me to prove this place is a closet commune. But I need time. Lamb's kid keeps staring me down like she knows that I'm a phony. I keep thinking of Johnny Topside, though. It took real guts to find Rapture like he did. It makes it easier not to crack if I sort of imagine that I'm him. It's a good thing I can't tell Lamb that, though. She'd probably say I got a secret need to fall into his arms and make a wild whoopee or something.
Fortunately, to Poole's delight, he finally stumbled upon the evidence that would finally free him of this job.
Dr. Lamb's trying to take the city by sponsoring the artsy types here. Big thinkers, to speak out against Ryan in their work. And all of it is right here in the park galleries. Open to the public. Lamb ain't even charging for it. And then Rapture? That's just brazen. Like some kind of naturist camp where everybody wears pulp hats and nothing else. It won't be long before Ryan's cronies can move in. And I can finally stop holding my breath.
Andrew Ryan now had everything he needed to lock Sofia Lamb away for good. It was time to act.
Do you remember what you told me, Bill? A marketplace of ideas. That was you. If I submit to the debates with Lamb, we defang her. I've done so. And have you been to Pauper's Drop, Bill? Listen.
When you're down and out.
Between each song, these Oblomovs hand out her manifesto. Her face adorns every wall. Saint Lamb. You made her, McDonough. And now, you will convince the council to sponsor her silence.
While Andrew Ryan pushed the council to vote for Lamb's arrest, Dr. Sofia Lamb meanwhile caught word of the conspiracy.
At last, we have our Judas. One of my own people has been feeding Ryan evidence of my activities, and now I am to be detained. As a religion, they merely monitored us, but as a commune, they would see us crucified. And yet, though he will be the last to see it, Andrew Ryan has already lost the people. Wherever I am sent, Rapture will follow.
Without a moment to waste, Lamb set to work ensuring her daughter would be taken care of during her detainment.
I know it's wrong to feel so fine right now, but I can't seem to quit this grin. Dr. Lamb came to tell me that Ryan's finally gonna lock her up. It's gonna gut the believers, and I should feel the same. But Sofia remembered that I was barren, and she asked me to take care of her baby while she's gone. Baby Eleanor Lamb. Gorgeous, clever little girl. I have a child now, and it's gonna put the whole world all right.
On the day of her arrest, Sofia Lamb bid farewell to her daughter.
Now, Eleanor, Mummy has to go away for a while. You shall be staying with Aunt Gracie.
Mummy, don't go.
Eleanor, you are better than that. Do you remember what I told you?
I am very special.
That's right. And what else?
I was born to change the world.
Yes. And when Mummy returns home, the world will be very different indeed. She will make it ready for you.
Sofia Lamb was locked away in Persephone, removing one thorn from Andrew Ryan's paw. But there was still another, Frank Fontaine. And with Lamb out of the picture, Fontaine decided it was his turn to cause a little mischief.
This Lamb twist went after Ryan all cockeyed. Solidarity angle was smart at first. Poor houses and bread lines, high-grade bunco. And that religious rights debate? Gotta wonder if she staged it just to watch Ryan squirm up there in his monkey suit. Lamb's only problem is she really buys into the whole song and dance. Saving the world? Ha! Rapture just ain't her town. Ryan's got her on ice somewhere now. And I figured that opens up the charity scam for the professionals.